this is Tara. Today let's study Sutra number 29. What does it say? Tataḥ pratyak chetana adhigamaha api antaraya abhavaha cha. Tataḥ, from that, pratyak, turning inward, like pratyaksha. Chetana, consciousness. Adhigama, attaining or acquisition. Api, even. Antaraya, obstacle. Abhava, absence. That is the absence of bhavana, the abhava, which we studied in yesterday's sutra. So what does Maharishi Ved Vyasa say about this sutra? Thence the understanding of the individual self and the absence of obstacles. So in the previous four sutras, he has explained to us Om, the pranava. Okay, now this is following. Thence the understanding of the individual self and the absence of obstacles. So in the ones previous to that, 5 sutras previous to that, what did he explain? Ishvara pranidhaana. Then the symbol of Ishvara becomes Om, and then how to use Om, how to practice it. So this is the conclusion. Thence the understanding of the individual self and the absence of obstacles. So the understanding of the individual self, okay, obstacles cease by feeling the omnipresence of the Lord, of Ishvara, and then the true nature of oneself is seen. Now what is he saying? That in the practice of yoga, a lot of obstacles will arise. He is going to explain what these obstacles are in the following sutras. But before he comes to the obstacles, he's told us that the aim is to feel to attain the highest state of self through attaining Ishvara, the distinct Purusha. We manifest Ishvara through the repetition of Om and the experience of the pranava, and this prepares us for the obstacles that are about to arise. Swami Satyananda says, from that practice the consciousness turns inward and the obstacles are overcome. So two things happen as a result of doing the japa of Om. The consciousness or awareness is introverted and the obstacles disappear. So what is it? Introverted consciousness awareness. That means we start looking inwards. When a student tries to go ahead, obstacles arise, and Patanjali will explain to us what those each obstacles are and how to sort of confront them. And thus we have a complete sadhana which is known as Ishvara pranidhaana. So along with the explanation of Ishvara pranidhaana, the pranava and the obstacles, then we understand how to practice. So this is not meant for videhas or pratikalayas, okay, and those who do not have shraddha, virya and the other qualities. It is meant for those who have a vacillating mind, who have attachment to the lower things in life, which is most of us in the mundane world. We are not yet at the level where we can give up the body. Our minds do fluctuate. Even when we practice on a daily basis, we have doubts, we face obstacles, we are very attached to our pleasures, our luxuries, our delusions. And so by practicing this, the average person will ultimately obtain higher intelligence and keenness of mind. Swami Vivekananda translates it as, from that is gain, introspection and the destruction of obstacles. All of the gurus are basically in their bhashyas saying that this aspect of introspection, the ability to look inwards, even when, for instance, I do therapy or counseling and I'm trying to help people, there are a lot of people who come for a solution and they think that if they have the solution, their problems are solved. But very few people come with the idea that let me apply this information, this knowledge, let me look inwards, let me see where my mistakes are, how to improve, what practice can help me do it, how do I sustain. That without that inward reflection, the introspection, the effort does not come. And if the effort does not come from within, one cannot surpass the obstacles. So the first manifestation of repetition and thinking of Om will be that the introspective power will be manifested more and more, and all the mental and physical obstacles will begin to vanish. So what are they saying? They are not saying that the more you look inwards or the more you chant Om, all your obstacles vanish. Okay, you have a cranky boss, you chant Om today, tomorrow your cranky boss gets transferred. It doesn't work like that. How does it work? It works that the more you chant and you practice Ishvara pranidhaana, you start looking inwards. When you start looking inwards, you start coming up with these solutions for these obstacles in your life. The obstacles don't feel like obstacles anymore because you are working in harmony, in flow, in alignment with the universe. So this is the meaning. So please don't think that if I sit and chant Om 3 times, all my obstacles will vanish. Pots of money, job, fame, name, status, relationships. It doesn't work like that. Okay. So BKS Iyengar, and why doesn't it work like that? Because we have samskaras, we have karmas to finish. If we are having a fight with somebody, the more you turn inwards, you realize I probably have in my past life owed this person something, or there is some matter between us that has to be settled. That is why these obstacles arise. So it is that the inwardness gives you these answers. Meditation on God, BKS Iyengar says, with repetition of Om removes obstacles to the mastery of the inner self. So typically when we say remover of obstacles, we think all these material things will be solved. No, BKS Iyengar is reminding us what are these obstacles? Obstacles to the mastery of the inner self. That is the path which becomes free of obstacles. So I have a teacher who sometimes says, you should be very careful when a spiritual person says, may you be happy. Because may you be happy in the worldly sense means may you have riches and all the material things you need. But may you be happy as a spiritual blessing means may you start walking on the path of spiritual attainment. And sometimes that may mean you lose your job, that may mean your marriage breaks up, that may mean that you stay a monk, you take vows, you are not achieving the material and worldly successes. So please be very clear that when people are saying that the remover of obstacles or the obstacle is removed, they mean it very much in a spiritual sense, right? The path to spiritual attainment becomes clear. So BKS Iyengar says the repetition of the pranava mantra, feeling and understanding of its meaning leads to the discovery of the self and helps us remove impediments to self-realization. When we experience the instruments of experience and the object experience are interwoven, when the instruments of experience and the object of experience are interwoven, the soul manifests itself without the intervention of any impediments. So this is the function of Ishvara, Ishvara pranidhaana, pranava, and the symbol and the experiencing of it. And thus we overcome the obstacles. Basically your faith, your discipline, your practice has to be very, very strong, very consistent, because obstacles will arise, and these obstacles in a material sense are not the issue. The obstacles towards attaining the path, to attaining the highest self, the samsara will keep sucking you back in. Osho says repeating and meditating on Om brings about the disappearance of obstacles and an awakening of new consciousness. The new consciousness is the fourth, the super consciousness. But remember, only repetition is not good. Repetition is just to help you meditate. Repetition creates the object, and the most subtle object is the sound of Om. And if you can be aware of the most subtle sound, then your awareness also becomes subtle. If you are aware of the gross, your awareness stays gross. So it is something that also Jiddu Krishnamurti says very often, that the observer becomes the observed. So whatever you observe, that you become. If what you're observing is gross, you remain gross. If what you're observing is subtle, you become subtle. So it is not just repetition, it is experiencing at a very subtle level. And Barbara Stoller Miller says, when Om reveals itself, introspection is attained and obstacles fall away. Before thought can cease entirely, the practitioner must withdraw from the phenomenal world and turn inward. Thus, the arising of introspection is a very important significator for whether you are on the path or not. If your gaze is only external, there is still a lot of work to do to turn it inwards. A host of distractions, mental and physical, may arise to prevent this, and it creates an obstacle to inner calm. So chanting the resonant syllable Om clears these obstacles, focuses the mind inwards, and allows you to practice. I hope this was useful to you. Please do come back tomorrow for Sutra number 30.